Marcus Wellington stood frozen in his marble hallway, staring at the receipt in his trembling hands. His heart pounded so hard he could hear it echo in the empty mansion. The number on the paper was impossible. Absolutely impossible. $2 million. His maid, quiet little Rosa, who barely spoke English, had somehow spent $2 million in a single afternoon. Not on jewelry, not on cars, not on anything he could have ever imagined. The receipt showed something that made his billionaire mind spin in complete confusion. "This can't be real," he whispered, his voice cracking. His hands shook as he read the receipt again. And again, Rosa appeared at the top of the grand staircase, still wearing her simple black uniform. But something was different. Her eyes weren't looking down at the floor like they usually did. Instead, she was looking straight at him with a confidence he'd never seen before.
Mr. Wellington,
she said softly.
We need to talk.
Her voice carrying through the massive house. We need to talk. The way she said those 4 words made his blood turn to ice. This wasn't the same timid woman who had cleaned his house for 3 years. This was someone completely different. Someone who had just used his unlimited black credit card in a way that would change everything. Marcus dropped the receipt. It floated to the floor like a feather, but it might as well have been a bomb. His whole world was about to explode. But to understand how Rosa, a simple maid making minimum wage, had outsmarted one of the richest men in America, we need to go back to where it all started. 3 days earlier, when Marcus Wellington made the biggest mistake of his life. He thought he was testing 4 women. He had no idea one of them was about to test him right back. And what she discovered about him would leave the entire city speechless. 3 days earlier, Marcus Wellington sat in his leather chair like a king on his throne. The morning sun poured through the floor-to-ceiling windows of his penthouse office, making his gold watch sparkle. But Marcus wasn't thinking about the beautiful day. He was thinking about women, and how much he hated them. "They're all the same," he muttered to his assistant, James. "Gold diggers. Every single one." Marcus had been burned before. 3 ex-wives had taken half his fortune. Dozens of girlfriends had used him for expensive dinners and shopping trips. Now, at 55 years old, he was bitter and angry. He wanted revenge. That's when he came up with his twisted plan. "I'm going to prove that all women are greedy," Marcus announced, pulling out 4 identical black credit cards from his desk drawer. These weren't ordinary credit cards. They were unlimited platinum cards that could buy anything. Houses, cars, even small countries. For women, 4 cards. I'll see who shows their true colors first. James shifted uncomfortably. "Sir, are you sure about this?" Marcus laughed coldly. "Trust me, James. By the end of the week, I'll have proof that every woman is the same." He had already chosen his targets. First was Victoria, a stunning blonde model he'd been dating for 2 months. She always wore designer clothes and complained that her apartment was too small. Second was Sarah, his business partner's daughter. She was smart, worked at a law firm, and always acted like money didn't matter to her. Marcus wanted to prove she was lying. Third was Diana, a young waitress from his favorite restaurant. She always smiled sweetly and never asked for anything. Too perfect, Marcus thought. She had to be hiding something. And fourth was Rosa. Marcus almost laughed thinking about her. Rosa was his maid. She was 42 years old, had 3 kids, and worked 2 jobs just to pay rent. She cleaned his house every Tuesday and Thursday, barely spoke English, and never looked him in the eye. She was perfect for his tests, because she was so desperate for money. "These 4 women represent every type," Marcus explained to James. "The obvious gold digger, the fake innocent one, the pretend professional, and the poor, desperate one. I'll give each of them a black credit card and tell them it's a gift. Then I'll watch them reveal their true greedy nature." James frowned. "What exactly are you hoping to prove?" Marcus's eyes grew dark. "That women are all liars. That they all want the same thing. Money. And when they show their true colors, I'll take the cards back and expose them all." But Marcus had made one crucial mistake. He assumed he knew these women. He assumed he understood what they wanted. He had no idea that one of them was about to turn his entire test upside down. The next morning, Marcus started with Victoria. He called her to his penthouse and handed her the black credit card with a charming smile. "A gift," he said. "No limits. Buy whatever makes you happy." Victoria's eyes lit up like Christmas morning. She grabbed the card and practically ran out the door. Within an hour, Marcus's phone was buzzing with purchase notifications. Gucci, Prada Louis Vuitton, a new BMW. Marcus smiled wickedly. Exactly what I expected. But when he called Rosa that afternoon, something felt different. She answered the phone with her usual quiet voice, but there was something else there. Something Marcus couldn't quite identify. "Rosa," he said sweetly, "I have a surprise for you." On the other end of the line, Rosa went completely silent. And in that silence, Marcus had no idea he had just made the biggest mistake of his life. The silence stretched on for so long that Marcus thought the call had dropped. "Rosa, are you there?" "Yes, Mr. Wellington," she finally whispered. "What kind of surprise?" Marcus grinned. This was going to be easy. "Come to my house tomorrow morning. I have something special for you." "But, sir, it's not my cleaning day." "Just come, Rosa. Trust me." That night, Marcus could barely sleep. He was so excited to see Rosa's reaction. In his mind, he pictured her crying with joy, maybe even kissing his feet in gratitude. Poor people were so predictable. But when Rosa knocked on his door the next morning, something was wrong. She wasn't wearing her usual cleaning uniform. Instead, she wore a simple black dress that looked almost elegant. Her hair wasn't tied back in a messy bun. It fell softly around her shoulders. And strangest of all, when Marcus opened the door, Rosa looked him straight in the eyes. "Good morning, Mr. Wellington." Her voice was different too. Clearer, stronger. Marcus felt a tiny flutter of confusion, but he pushed it away. "Rosa, come in, come in. I have wonderful news." He led her to his living room and handed her the black credit card with a dramatic flourish. "This is for you. A gift. No limits, no questions asked. Buy whatever your heart desires." Rosa stared at the card for a long time. Too long. Marcus expected her to gasp, to cry, to thank him over and over. Instead, she just held the card and looked at him with those strange, steady eyes. "Why?" she asked simply. The question caught Marcus off guard. "Why what? Why are you giving me this?" Marcus fumbled for an answer. Because I'm grateful for your hard work. Because I'm generous. Because you want to see what I'll do with it. The words hit Marcus like a slap. Rosa's voice was calm, but there was something sharp underneath it. Something that made his stomach twist. "I don't know what you mean," Marcus lied. Rosa stood up slowly. She was still holding the card, but now she was studying Marcus instead of it. "Mr. Wellington, may I ask you something?" Marcus nodded, suddenly feeling like he was the one being tested. "Do you think I'm stupid?" The question hung in the air like smoke. Marcus's mouth opened and closed, but no words came out. Rosa continued, her voice growing stronger with each word. "Do you think that because I clean your toilets and speak with an accent, I don't understand what's happening? Do you think I don't see you watching me? Judging me?" Marcus felt sweat forming on his forehead. This wasn't going according to plan at all. "Rosa, I think there's been a misunderstanding." "No misunderstanding." Rosa stepped closer to him. "You gave the same card to Victoria yesterday. I saw her posting about her shopping spree on Instagram. You're testing us, aren't you? Seeing which one of us will be the greediest." Marcus's heart began to race. How could she possibly know about Victoria? Rosa smiled, but it wasn't the sweet, shy smile he remembered. This smile was something else entirely. Something that made Marcus's blood run cold. "Here's what's going to happen, Mr. Wellington. I'm going to take your card, and I'm going to spend your money, but not the way you think." She turned toward the door, then stopped. "Oh, and Marcus, you should know something about me." She looked back at him one last time, and Marcus saw something in her eyes that made his knees weak with fear. "I'm not who you think I am." With that, Rosa walked out of his house, taking the black credit card and all of Marcus's confidence with her. But what Marcus didn't know was that Rosa had been waiting for this moment for 3 long years. And the game she was about to play would destroy everything he thought he knew about power, money, and revenge. Marcus spent the entire day pacing his mansion like a caged animal. His phone buzzed constantly with credit card alerts, but he was too terrified to look at them. Who was Rosa really? How did she know about his test? And what was she buying with his money? By evening, he couldn't take it anymore. With shaking hands, he opened his banking app. The number on the screen made him dizzy. $1 million. Gone in just 8 hours. But it wasn't the amount that shocked him. It was what she had bought. Marcus stared at the transactions, reading them over and over, hoping he was seeing wrong. But the words didn't change. St. Mary's Children's Hospital, $500,000. City Food Bank, $200,000. Rosa Martinez Legal Defense Fund, $300,000. Marcus's legs gave out. He collapsed into his chair, his mind spinning. Rosa had donated his money to charity. But that last transaction, Rosa Martinez Legal Defense Fund, what did that mean? His phone rang. Rosa's number. Hello, Marcus. Her voice was completely different now. Professional, confident, like she was the billionaire and he was the maid. Rosa, what would you do? I told you. I spent your money. But not the way you expected. Marcus's voice cracked. Why children's hospitals? Why food banks? I don't understand. Rosa laughed, but there was no warmth in it. Of course you don't understand. You've never been poor, have you, Marcus? You've never had to choose between buying medicine for your sick child or paying rent. Rosa, please. My name isn't Rosa. The words hit Marcus like a physical blow. My real name is Dr. Rosa Martinez. I have a PhD in psychology from Harvard. I specialize in studying wealthy narcissists and their behavior patterns. Marcus felt the world spinning around him. That's impossible. 3 years ago, you destroyed my family's construction business. My father had worked for 30 years building that company. You bought out his biggest contracts, then sued him into bankruptcy just because he refused to sell his land to you. The memory came flooding back to Marcus. Some small construction company that had owned a piece of property he wanted. He'd crushed them without a second thought. It was just business. My father died a heart attack 6 months later. Rosa continued, her voice steady but deadly. My mother lost the house. My little brother had to drop out of college. Marcus's mouth went dry. Rosa, I didn't know. But I knew you, Marcus. I studied you. I learned everything about your patterns, your cruelty, your games with women. So I applied to be your maid. I spent 3 years watching you, learning your habits, waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment for what? Rosa's voice turned ice cold. To destroy you the same way you destroyed my family. Marcus jumped up from his chair. You can't. I'll call the police. I'll report the card stolen. Go ahead. Call them. The confidence in her voice made Marcus freeze. While you're at it, you might want to check your email. I sent some interesting documents to several news outlets this morning. With trembling fingers, Marcus opened his laptop. His inbox was flooded with messages from reporters, but one subject line made his blood turn to ice. Billionaire's secret recordings. Women humiliation scheme exposed. You see, Marcus, I recorded everything. Every cruel comment about women. Every detail of your twisted test. Every time you bragged about wanting to humiliate us. Marcus clicked on one of the emails. There was a video file attached. He pressed play and heard his own voice saying the words that would end his reputation forever. I'm going to prove that all women are greedy. By the end of the week, I'll have proof that every woman is the same. No, no, no. Marcus screamed, slamming the laptop shut. Rosa's laughter echoed through the phone. The video goes viral in 1 hour, Marcus. Every news station, every social media platform. The world is about to see exactly what kind of man you really are. Marcus was hyperventilating now. What do you want? Money? I'll give you anything. I already took what I wanted. Your money is now feeding hungry families and healing sick children. Your reputation is about to be destroyed. And your empire... Rosa paused, and Marcus could hear the smile in her voice. Well, Let's just say that second $1 million I'm about to spend is going to finish what my father started. The line went dead. Marcus stared at his phone in horror. But before he could process what Rosa meant about a second million, his front door opened. Standing in his hallway was Rosa, no longer wearing simple clothes. She was dressed in an expensive business suit, carrying a briefcase, and flanked by two men in dark suits who looked very much like lawyers. But it was the look in her eyes that made Marcus realize his nightmare was just beginning. Rosa walked into Marcus's mansion like she owned it. Behind her, the two lawyers spread documents across his marble dining table with the precision of surgeons. What is this?" Marcus stammered, backing against the wall. Rosa opened her briefcase and pulled out a thick folder. "This, Marcus, is justice." She handed him a document that made his knees buckle. At the top, in bold letters, it read, "Martinez Family Trust Property Acquisition Notice. Remember that land you stole from my father? The land you destroyed his business to get?" Rosa's voice was calm, but her eyes burned with 3 years of buried rage. "It turns out you never actually owned it legally." Marcus's hands shook as he read the document. "This is impossible. I bought that land fair and square." "No, Marcus. You bought it through fraud. You bribed city officials to change zoning laws. You paid off inspectors to condemn my father's building. I've spent 3 years gathering evidence, and now I have proof of everything." One of the lawyers stepped forward. "Mr. Wellington, these documents show a clear pattern of corruption and illegal business practices. The land legally belongs to the Martinez family. Always has." Rosa smiled, and this time it was the sweetest, most devastating smile Marcus had ever seen. "That second $1 million I mentioned, I used your own credit card to buy back my father's land. From you." The words hit Marcus like a freight train. "You can't do that. The land is worth $50 million. "Actually," Rosa said, pulling out another document, "according to the emergency court order I obtained this morning, the land is worth exactly what my father originally paid for it. $2 million, which is exactly what I spent on your credit card today." Marcus fell into his chair, his empire crumbling around him. "The courts can't just. They can when you present evidence of fraud, corruption, and theft." Rosa leaned closer to him. "Did you really think there wouldn't be consequences, Marcus? Did you think you could destroy families and ruin lives without anyone fighting back?" The sound of car doors slamming outside made Marcus look up in terror. Through his window, he could see news vans pulling up to his mansion. "The story goes live in 5 minutes," Rosa announced, checking her watch. "By tomorrow morning, everyone will know exactly what kind of man you are. Your business partners will abandon you. Your investors will pull out. Your social circle will disappear." Marcus grabbed Rosa's arm desperately. "Please, I'll do anything. I'll pay you back everything. Rosa gently but firmly removed his hand. "You can't pay back a father's life, Marcus. You can't buy back the years my family spent in poverty because of your greed." The doorbell rang. Through the glass, Marcus could see reporters gathering with their cameras and microphones. "But here's the beautiful part," Rosa continued, her voice growing stronger with each word. "That children's hospital you helped fund? My little brother is a doctor there now. The food bank you donated to? It feeds families just like mine was. Every dollar you spent today will help people you try to destroy." Marcus was crying now, big tears rolling down his cheeks. "What happens to me?" Rosa stood up, smoothing down her business suit. She looked every inch the successful professional she really was. "You get to learn what it feels like to lose everything, just like my family did." She walked toward the door, then stopped one last time. "Oh, and Marcus, those other 3 women in your little test, Victoria, Sarah, and Diana, they all knew about your plan from the beginning. I told them everything. Victoria donated her shopping money to charity too. Sarah used her card to pay off student loans for poor kids. And Diana, she bought groceries for every struggling family in her neighborhood." Marcus stared at her in complete shock. They all knew? Rosa's smile was radiant now. "Did you really think women are as heartless as you are? Did you think we wouldn't support each other once we learned the truth. The doorbell rang again, more insistently this time. Your test failed, Marcus, but not because we're all greedy. It failed because you never understood what women really are. We're not your enemies. We're not gold diggers. We're human beings with hearts, minds, and the power to fight back when someone tries to break us. Rosa opened the front door. The flash of cameras lit up the hallway like lightning. Good luck explaining this to the world, Mr. Wellington. As Rosa walked past the reporters toward her car, Marcus heard one of them shout a question that would haunt him forever. Mr. Wellington, is it true that you gave unlimited credit cards to women just to humiliate them? How do you respond to Dr. Martinez's claims about your corruption? Marcus closed the door and slid down against it until he was sitting on his marble floor. His mansion suddenly felt cold and empty and meaningless. Outside, he could hear Rosa's voice speaking confidently to press. This story isn't about revenge. It's about justice. It's about showing the world that when someone tries to break you, sometimes the best response is to prove just how unbreakable you really are. Marcus buried his face in his hands and finally understood the truth that would define the rest of his life. He hadn't just lost his money, his reputation, or his empire. He had been completely, utterly, and brilliantly outsmarted by the woman he thought was powerless. And she had used his own cruelty as the weapon to destroy him. What did you think of Rosa's incredible revenge? If you enjoyed the story of justice and unexpected twists, make sure to like this post and follow for more incredible stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Comment below. What would you have done if you were in Rosa's position? Would you have chosen revenge or forgiveness? Share this story with someone who loves tales of the underdog winning against all odds. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest posts about real-life heroes, shocking twists, and stories that prove truth really is stranger than fiction.